Hello drivers! A little over a year after the first one, here is the first state of the game of 2021. Let me start this long overdue video by talking about the news regarding the Driver Syndicate. First, by showing you the new design and layout of the mod section of the Driver Syndicate website. You will find there almost every mod of the game that I'll talk about in my videos, with a better display than before by the use of sections for cars, cities and general content. Clicking on a tile will lead you to a short description, some screenshots and of course the link to download the mods. With this, we hope you will have a better access to the mods because the Driver Syndicate is driven by community content, as today's video will attest once more. And there is also a support button to click on. Still, in the user experience field, a lot of custom missions are now directly shown in the main menu. No need to use the consoles anymore and to potentially fail to write the correct name of the command. Since Sherbet Jutsu made so many missions, it is a great improvement in my opinion. So don't forget to have the latest version of the game and the add-ons installed. If you are planning to do the current complete walkthrough of Sherbet Mission Story Mode, you will need to have default Nikki installed as the pre-kill and first batch of missions are taking place there. You will also need Delray, Victoria, Arise, Chickenhill for the rest of the missions. It will provide you with many hours of gameplay and challenge, and your progress will be saved so you can resume the story whenever you want. I will show a few other missions in this video to contextualize the updates made in the various cities of the Driver Syndicate modding scene. The last news is more a glimpse for things to come, and that will greatly improve the modder's experience with the new city builder tool by Soppy himself. The idea is to help making assets directly in the tool to allow more diversity in the buildings you can see in the different cities. Soppy's own description of the expected product is like a mirth from Verve. Now that we presented the news, we will start to showcase the new stuff by talking about the cities you can play in and their related content. The new city to play in has already been discussed in a dedicated video. I'm of course referring to Miami Classic, the complete Miami experience from the PlayStation 1 version of Driver 1 by Matti. Complete because you get the cars from the PlayStation 1, PC and iPhone version with the 13 original missions to enjoy in this big chunk of content. For our French audience, Bifoot has made a French translation of the Miami Classic mod, so don't hesitate to tweak your gameplay with this mod.
Vous avez un nouveau message.
C'est moi. Bon boulot, mec. On a une caisse canon. On veut qu'elle sorte avant cet après-midi. Il lui faut des nouvelles plaques, tu vois, un coup de peinture, enfin bref, un ravalement total, quoi. Ramène-toi vite fait si le boulot t'intéresse. Je te jure, mec, cette bagnole, elle est trop classe.
If you prefer the HD version of the cars, Mernvar has made that possible easily. For a full description of Miami Classic, you can also check my dedicated video from February. By the way, you can now expand the map without pausing the game by pressing the up arrow on your controller. As the maps are getting bigger and bigger, that's an improvement that will help you navigating within the correct path to the mission's objective. Now we will talk about the updates made to the already released cities, but that still bring new and original areas to the cities, as well as their new related content to expand your gameplay experience. Chickenhill by SwissCruiser is a good example of a city with its own mood and vibe. Loosely based on a German location, this setting is boosted by its own loading screen and police skin by Secular Steve. Thanks to them, this map really feels like no other from the pack, apart from Allenberg by the same author, and provides a sound experience to the user willing to install the related content. There is indeed Sherbet missions to try on and minigames such as the famous survival and checkpoints, given that you have the required vehicles, which you can find on the Driver Syndicate website mods section. Los Angeles by TheNuclearGamer was also updated with a few polished areas and AI fixes. The author is willing to get back on it to overhaul the missing part, and maybe the new city builder tool will help TheNuclearGamer in this quest. In the meantime, Sherbet has made 3 missions for LA, so you can already enjoy it and give your feedback to the respective authors. The first mission is using the feature added by Soapy in the September update with the ability to attach a trailer to the player's car. Sherbet used this with malicious intention by attaching a big camper van to one of the smallest cars of Syndicate. The mission tends to be very challenging in results because even if you are not chased by the police at the beginning, the short timer forces you to drive fast and you will not stay out of trouble for a long time. The second LA mission requires you to wreck someone else's car before going back to a safe house without a tail, like a classic driver mission. Your worst enemy is not the police in my opinion, because they are easy to spot thanks to their police sirens, but it is not the case for the silent car from the enemy gang, which are even more relentless. My strat was to use the dense area with many trees near the endpoint to break the chaser and train my slalom skills. I will let you discover the third Sherbet mission by yourself. Arise by AudreyN also got the same kind of polishing with new assets throughout the city in an attempt to make it greener according to the author's changelogs. Thanks to all these additions, we can even talk about enhancements, and a new take a ride in Arise will prove I'm right. Sherbet also made a new mission to help you get back in the city if you have already played on a previous version. The new Sherbet side job offers a new type of minigame which is worth mentioning. In this mission you are driving a big ice cream truck and the goal is to wreck police cars. The originality is that your damage bar is filling by itself and the way to decrease it is to wreck the police cars. The challenge is not based on pure time but instead on your ability to maintain a sufficient wrecking sequencing. It reminds me of one of the first Watch Dogs digital trips that required you to run over pedestrians to earn points and time. Thanks for McNally, it is not the objective in Syndicate with the beautiful pedestrian, but the challenge is very strong as I was only able to get 3 police cars out of the 60 required. Cincy by Redline got new areas to explore with downtown, industrial and river area added. If you have not played in this city before, you will then enjoy the complete package of this more rural map of Redline, who also did Delray. If you have the mini mod installed, you can choose 8 spawn points to tweak your starting point. So in my case I had Lua errors as shown in the top left corner of the screen. If you look at the logs you can read the errors and help the modding support to better assist you if you ask a question on the driver Discord. Allenberg is the definition of a map in constant evolution. You can of course follow the progress directly on the author's YouTube channel, which recently tops the 100th video on this progress showcase. As you can imagine, it's one of the biggest and dense maps of the Driver Syndicate. It also has now 7 Sherbet missions to play with, as well as 7 author's missions and minigames such as the survival and checkpoint. As it is the case with Chickenhill, look for the readme to know which community vehicles to add or install everything to be sure you can launch the missions. Finally, the most recent city update is Delray by Redline, with revamped areas, new suburbs added in the south of the map and performance fixes. There was already a lot of content to play in this city with the Sherbet missions that I covered in previous videos and that I of course recommend if you have not played them yet. I already said it a few times in my previous state of the game, but since it remains true, I can say it again. What I really like in Delray is the openness of the environments and the sense of details, which is very high. Moreover, you don't have many dead ends, meaning that you can go anywhere you want. You will surely find a way to get back on tracks. There is a perfect example in one of the new areas that seems at first sight to be disconnected from the mainland, but if you go till the edge of the island, you will find a convenient springboard that will allow you to cross the river without forcing you to backtrack. That is exactly the type of details that will make me feel the map was well thought in the design process. Well done, Redline. Victoria by Nikki is still in the works, so you can expect a big update with various new handmade assets when it is ready, so stay tuned in the future state of the game. In the general content categories, Sherbet has released a big amount of new cars and vehicles, including ones from Mutt that he ports in the game. Silvercats has also completed his Polaroid preview add-ons batch in accordance of almost all the new cars for the selection screen. There is also new speedometer design if you like to use them. There is also a Polish and Italian translation that are now available. The driver sounds pack has been filled with new engine sounds, and some of them are mandatory for some of the vehicles, so it's better to install it. The mods menu that I'll talk a bit in this video was also refreshed with new option to add versatility to your gameplay experience. And with all this said, we have covered almost everything new for today's state of the game. More of great stuff have yet to be revealed. I'm very excited by Soapy's new tool because it has a lot of potential and it can only benefit the modders that have already done so much for the game. I know that some of them are working on new stuff for Syndicate. Maybe new ones will jump in the modding scene as well, and I sure hope that you will try the mods and enjoy the Driver Syndicate experience. Tell me in the comments if you have already played mods, and if so, which one. I will talk a bit about the ReDriver club that saw members leaving and new members coming in. I totally understand that people would want to leave after my April upload being very thin, as I was active on my work and it prevented me to be active on YouTube. Nonetheless, big thanks to Gore that just left us for being a ReDriver producer for a few months. It meant a lot to me. Same goes for Snoopy, which already revealed he will leave at the end of this month. I'm planning to upload at least one new bloopers as a member exclusive video before you leave. YouTube is very strict on what you can upload for your paid members. That is why I can't upload driver content, because it will be considered as using the video game IP as paid rewards, which is forbidden by YouTube rules. That's why bloopers are the perfect fit for this specific category of videos, and it will allow me to save space on my poor hard drive, which is almost filled. There is a lot going on Twitter right now with a giveaway contest to win a... The Kilogint was also an undercover officer for a month and he is now in a body bag. As I said, we also got new members in the club with the introduction of the ReDriver producer CarGuy50 and the road builder Al520i. Welcome to both of you. Don't forget you can use custom driver emojis in the comments and the live streams, which I hope to do more of them as I always say. Finally, let me thank my current ReDriver's producer by order of length of membership: DriverDimension.com, Fresh Contact, Neurosins, Tenko9 YouTube, Paul Lanois, Snoopy, and CarGuy50. Thanks to all my viewers. I'm hoping you are still in for driver content, as it is what I do best. See you soon, drivers.